Welcome to this week's edition of The Link, and we link you to opportunities and information that you use to make business decisions, information that you can use, you can transform and translate tomorrow. My guest tonight is Mr. Chris Lukolyo, who is from the UN Capital Development Fund. We were speaking a little while ago and saying the word capital is critical, and he's the digital country leader for that program. Lead, yes, for the UN Capital Development Fund. Chris, welcome.
Thank you.
UN Capital Development Fund, do you guys give capital?
Well, actually, the mandate of the UN Capital Development Fund is to unlock public and private financing for underserved communities. So indeed, we do unlock access to capital. Yeah,
okay.
Indeed.
So you don't give me money when I come?
Not necessarily. You might not be underserved. You look like you are you look like you're well-to-do. Yeah.
Okay. So let's deal with digital. This thing called digital. Digital solutions, and I know you facilitate the provision of digital solutions that bridge gaps. Yeah. Especially for those who might be left out, and you can talk about that in a moment. So if I am dealing with UNCDF for a digital solution, and for the benefit of everybody listening, from a digital solution provider standpoint, making an app to something else, what do I need to bear in mind so that my solution counts?
That's a good question. Generally, anybody developing a solution needs to think about who is going to use that solution. We get so many applicants for collaboration who are building a solution for, yes, you know, I want more refugees to access digital finance. I want more rural farmers to access credit. But they're in Kampala. Yeah. They haven't gone to the rural areas to ask these farmers, is this something you need? How will they use it? What button will they press? What language is it in? That understanding the needs of the user and actually developing the solution with the user, understanding how they will navigate the system, how will they use it, what will they press, is it logical, do they understand it? This is the key, because ultimately it's supposed to be, as I'm sure many of your users have heard of human-centered design. You design for the user, otherwise there's really no point. Okay. So in order to be successful, digital solutions, and really any other solution, should have the customer in mind. So we at UNCDF talk about inclusive innovation, that there are those of us in society who are in danger of being left behind. Okay. And when you think about rural women, think about rural farmers, refugees, they might not have the latest smartphone, they might not have access to credit for their agricultural activities. Yeah. And so new innovations should take those circumstances into account. The lack of access to those devices, the lack of internet coverage, the limited knowledge in using digital products and services, that type of consideration.
And so I take the principle, Chris, here, that even if you are building it for the city guys, and we're talking about rural guys here, but city guys, you need to do some homework. Indeed. Developing an app and writing code is good but not sufficient. Indeed. If you're going commercial or to be used, you've got to ask the people.
Indeed. And that's true, because ultimately I think we all get carried away by the technology. But technology is a means to an end. It's not a means, an end in and of itself. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you talk about rural users here, and that's your project also, the program rather. Is there real potential in the rural areas? I mean, if I'm a developer, really? I thought money is in the cities, in the urban areas. Now we have 4 cities, I think, yeah.
There is indeed potential. I mean, the potential is in that these communities constitute customers. You simply have to unlock that potential. And regardless of where the customer is, whether it's in urban areas or rural areas, you won't really recognize that person as a customer if you don't provide what they need.
I agree, okay? Absolutely.
So rural communities represent very huge potential for growth, for revenue, for innovation, because talking to these rural communities helps companies realize new potential, new product areas, and indeed opportunities for growth. So Yes, rural communities represent very real potential for growth.
Give me a tip. You have been there.
Indeed.
What do these guys need really in the rural areas? I'm thinking
you need to go yourself.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time in refugee communities, in refugee host communities. We do a lot of work within rural farming communities. And many times, the challenges are not surprising in and of themselves. So again, the lack of access to the right devices, it might be network coverage, lack of access to credit. So again, they can buy the farm inputs and the seeds and so on needed for cultivation. But ultimately, sometimes it's really the lack of the linkages, that a rural farmer, for example, is going to take the price that somebody gives them when they come to their farm. But a digital solution could give that farmer access to information to know, all right, what are beans going for in the open market? If I wait, can I get 1,000? Can I get 2,000 per kilo? This is the information. And so access to information and linkages to off-takers and processors, these are some of the problems that...
Including who can give you a small loan and things like that.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Because of time, we need to move on, Chris. How critical are partnerships in development of real digital solutions? I mean, I'm an app developer. Doing the homework can be difficult. Partnerships, how critical are they?
Indeed. Just like in every other aspect of life, nobody has everything. And so partnerships are paramount. As you can imagine, a developer of a neat new solution or service offering, helping to include maybe improve access for rural women, improve access to credit or access to finance, will not have the telecom company that themselves.
Absolutely.
So they need to do that over the infrastructure of a telecom company. So that partnership is important. There are things in technology that we call APIs. So application programming interfaces allow one program to talk to another. And that's technology, but before the technology, the partnership is necessary. So the developer of an app, the developer of a new solution needs to talk to those other service providers to build the entire value chain to deliver the service, to deliver value. And so partnerships are paramount in delivering
And the viewers, we are speaking about, you are in the technology business and you want to make money. It's not just knowing code again. It's all these things we are speaking about, and I hope you're taking notes. Chris, finally, does going digital amount to the smartphone? Many people think, everything is smart. Really, capability. Is there any potential there? Let me start there.
There is, and that's a very good question. Going digital does not amount to smartphones. I mean, even feature phones have features that allow underserved communities, that allow all of us to access digital services and service offerings. I mean, even as you use mobile money, instead of walking to the bank, that is a digital service that you can access on a feature phone. And digital does not amount to phones even. There are several applications that rely on remote sensors. That rely on, again, if a system has been computerized, if it's processing information in order to deliver something that you can use for decision making, that is a digital platform.
Absolutely.
So digital does not mean phones, it does not mean smartphones, but indeed it has been the most ubiquitous platform. So when we talk about rural communities, now more than ever, several people have access to even a simple phone. So yes, sometimes when we talk about digital, we picture phones, because when I talk about rural farmers, when I talk about refugees, that's the thing that they're most likely to have in their hands.
The basic phone.
To deliver the digital services.
In 1 minute, Chris, UNCDF facilitates in your at least program developers. So how do I find you, first of all, to come and do work with you?
That's another good question. We actually make sure that any selection of partners is competitive. So as part of this program, we work to make sure that there is inclusion of those who are in danger of being left behind. And so we put out calls for applications. These are published on our website. People follow us on social media and see these publications. So when they do come out, we call for applications and people apply. And when they do, we will have specifications on what problem we're trying to solve. And if you have a solution, that would be the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris, for this enlightening. We hope we'll get more minutes in future to give you more information that benefits you. Otherwise, if you want to benefit from the programs of UNCDF, follow them on social media. They can easily be found. You can even Google them.
UNCDF Digital.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. And that was the link tonight. I hope you benefited. Thank you for joining us.